Hello everyone, this is Joe Macaroni again. Joe Macaroni explains it all. I'm happy you joined me again today. I enjoy presenting these little nuggets, if you will, and I appreciate your response and your viewership. So today we're going to talk about things that drive me, Joe Macaroni, nuts. First one, rude drivers. Now they either don't give a crap about others or they're just too stupid to know the difference. I'm not sure which is which here. Either way, there's a better name than rude, but I'm not going to say it. Here's another thing that drives me nuts. People who think it's okay to cut into a line. As far as I'm concerned, they're just jerks. They're just jerks. People who leave their phones on in church. And then they actually answer them and start talking. I mean, for God's sakes, no pun intended, for God's sakes, for an hour you can't shut your phone off. Well, to each his own, I guess. Another one is the proliferation of spam phone calls and suspicious emails and texts. Too much. It's just too much. And it seems you get rid of some and some more come. It just goes on and on. How about TV commercials? I once counted 10 commercials in a row while watching the news. 10 in a row. Mostly about different cars. Very confusing, very annoying. Probably the best way is to record the news and skip the commercials. People who are always late drive me a little nuts. I'm a very prompt person. If I tell you I'm going to be there at 10, I'm there at 10. My whole working career, I followed this. And it really aggravated me when people had an appointment with me at 10 and showed up at 11. But in any event, people, they're late for work, they're late for appointments, they're late for social activities. Why? Why can't you be on time? I don't know. People who have not learned two of the most important words in the English language. Please and thank you. Very simple words, aren't they? Just so simple. And yet, we find that people just don't do that. Really, I don't know. It just isn't right. I mean, what the heck? How hard is it to say please? How hard is it to say thank you? How about people who say, let me be honest with you? Does that imply that the rest of the time they are not being honest? Why say, let me be honest with you? Aren't you honest with me all the time? That frustrates me. Telemarketers, they never stop talking. They are pushy and very rude. When I see a call coming from a telemarketer and I'm in the mood to answer it, I just answer it in a different language. That usually ends the call. I smile. End of a story. See? There is a use for another language. That's probably it. I once knew a guy who said to me, quote, I want a job where I don't have to work hard, make lots of money, and have fun. Who doesn't want that job? Who doesn't? I just felt like slapping him right in the head. And finally, how about this one to drive you nuts? People who walk up to me and say, remember me? And of course I don't. What do I answer? I still haven't figured out a good one. I'm trying to. I've met a lot of people in my life. I've given seminars all over the country. I've had a number of businesses. I know a lot of people, but I always remember their names, especially if I've only met them once, and that was 20 years ago. And they come up to me, and that happened in a restaurant a couple of weeks ago. This couple came up to me and says, "Do you remember us?" Hadn't a clue who they were. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today on things that drive me nuts. I hope you have a good day. I hope I haven't driven you nuts. I hope nobody else drives you nuts. Thank you so much for watching. This is Joe Macaroni. Joe Macaroni explains it all.